Hi Guy! Today I thought we'd have a look back at, well, my long history with games and because I've been thinking about this for a few days now and trying to pick out what I think are probably my favourite musical moments within games. I mean, I've been playing games for a very long time, so I've experienced a lot, and there's several points in my life that even years and years later still occur to me, still at the back of my mind, and I always hope we will see more of them. Now, this isn't about game soundtracks, because I could pick on loads of games. I mean, just off the top of my head, something like Undertale. I think it's probably one of my favourite 8-bit style or 16-bit style retro themes in the game. It works perfectly well and stuff, but the very general themes and such, but that's a soundtrack. I'm just talking about moments where something special's happening and the music kicks in at just the right time, and yeah, just wonderful stuff. So I've only picked 3 because otherwise I'd be at this for a month. And the first one I'm going to go with, and this is going right back till about 96, 97, and it's the first Tomb Raider game. Now, don't be moaning and groaning. There are good things in the original Tomb Raiders. They're not just all about tank controls. But one thing that's always stood out in my mind is you were basically, you're a female Indiana Jones. You're out on this wonderful adventure. You're going around the world, exploring, doing all that sort of stuff. And then you're in all these underground caverns and caves and things, and there's that shock moment, of course, with the big T-Rex. I mean, spoiler there, I might have just... there's a T-Rex in it and it eats you, or tries to. But there's one moment particularly, is just how the music works, and it's like a chorus, and all the instruments kick in, and it's just perfect, and there's all this singing, and there's this one point where you come out really, really high in this roof of this cave, and you look down, and in my mind, because it's always been like this really standout moment, the music starts kicking up, like I say, this chorus starts, it's like church music, and it's just wonderful, and it's awe-inspiring, and you just gaze down, and you look around as the camera spans around, and it's not a cutscene or anything, it's just the natural way it makes you do it, and you see there's like a sphinx and a pyramid in there, and that has always stood there in my mind as what a moment to have. It's so intense, it's so wonderful and awe-inspiring, and it just makes you want to push on further with the game. I mean, the game isn't the greatest in places, but it certainly has special things like that. I mean, there's as another one just on the side. It also has a similar thing when you discover a secret area. And one in particular I remember is you're avoiding a fight with a bear, and you sneak up around the roof and go around a corner into a little hidden cave, and a similar sort of musical track kicks in. But to me at the time as a kid, it was one of the first games where you'd really had that chance where they were changing. The music was more than just a ditty playing in the background. It was intense and exciting, and anyway, yeah, enough excitement for that. Let's move on to the next one. This is quite an obvious one, and I'm sure everyone has very similar ones, and I'm afraid it's a spoiler for Final Fantasy VII. But basically, it's the whole Eris's death. I mean, you get to this point, it's all very intense. You're very close to this character. You've been on fair, but there's the entirety of the first disc. You're on an adventure with her. You're getting to know her, what her weaknesses are, what her problems are. Fantastic character. And then, lo and behold, you get into this point where you try to save the world, and this big bad guy drops down with a sword and just impales her on the end of it. And it's just, you look at it, and it switches to a video, and you just think, that's not like a phoenix down, give her a chemical and she'll get back up. She's dead. And it's just that moment of awe and shock, and then this it's like a materia, but we'll just say it's like a bead, drops from her body, and it bounces down these steps. I'm sure everybody's seen it to death, but all this music suddenly kicks in. It's like piano and a ding, and it all just matches up perfectly. And it was just the most shocking musical moment, because it matches that scene to death. It's better than what I've seen in some films, even at the time up to this day. There's not been anything that's that I can remember that's had that sort of shock, emotional impact, and it almost brings you to tears. But yeah, anyway, I'm sure everybody's talked about that one before, but my next one is a very, very simple one. They all seem to be roughly around the same time. I don't know why mine seems to drift back to the 90s so much, but I mean, these are all some of my favourite games as well. But it has to be Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now, we'll just get over the excitement of it being a huge, wonderful adventure and it's one of my all-time favourite games. And luckily, when I played the 3DS version, the remake of it, it still holds up as a game. It's a fantastic experience. But one thing that still sticks out in my mind as a musical moment is there's a part where you leave like the starting area, the starting forest, and you go out into something called like the Hyrule Field. I'm sure a lot of you know what that is, but as you do, the music starts to build up. It's very, very quiet and very, very slow, and then it starts becoming faster and faster and more bright and more chirpy and wonderful. And you come out into this field. There's a cutscene just before, but you come out into this field, and the camera pans around, and then it comes back behind, and you can see this expanse. And this is the Nintendo 64, and there'd been nothing like this at the time. And it was just that moment of awe and wonder, and then the music matches it perfectly, and it just beats into a really fast going over and over. It was just wow. At my time, I was only a teen again. It wasn't. I was 18. And it just blew me away, because you just sat there and you're thinking, my God, this whole thing with music is just getting better and better. What more can they do with it? And anyway, yeah. So I don't want to go off into musical moments too much. Like I say, I would try to avoid things like soundtracks. But if I was picking one, it'd be something like Persona 3, just because that's one of the most upbeat, probably closest to modern games you could have. God, that's 10 years old now, isn't it? I am getting ancient. Anyway, guys, what about yourselves? I'm sure I'm missing loads and loads and loads, but those are just the ones that really stick out in my mind, and they're always, when I think about musical things, it's just the one thing I always drift back to. Stick it in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Is there anything you think was even better within them games, or stuff in other games you think maybe I should be looking at and enjoying as well? So, yeah. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and please look forward to another video soon.